Did you know that every new launch project goes through what I call a three-phase in price? Given that in the first half of 2024, we have already seen a couple of projects like Cascaden Reserve and the residents at W Sentosa Cove hit the headline news that the developer did a huge price discount. In this video, I will share with you how to spot behaviors in projects that would tell us if the project would likely increase or reduce in price. Unlike in the resale development, where there are multiple individual owners, in the new launch market, there is only one seller, which is the developer. So how the developers price their units is very crucial to you as a buyer today because it will directly impact on your profits. Hi everyone, my name is Melissa and welcome back to my channel. Here is a chart for all the new sales at Treasure at Tampines, where we can see the three phases of pricing. During the first phase, as there are many units for developers to sell, this is usually when the phase where you can find that developers will price their unit at the lowest. As the sale volume increases and developers feel more confident, this is where developers will go into phase 2 and start to inch up their prices. And lastly, it will be phase 3 where units will be priced at the highest. Taking the price trend of a 3-bedroom unit as an example, it clearly shows that the difference in prices across different entry times. In 2019, the owner of Stack 119 bought in during phase 1 at 1.332 million, which enjoys an unblocked view. Subsequently, the developer saw an increase in volume of transaction between June 2020 and September 2020, and this is where developers go into phase 2. In 2021, an owner purchased the same Stack 119 at $52,000 higher. Lastly, in phase 3, where there are few units left, an owner purchased a highway-facing unit at 1.85 million, which is $520,000 more than the owner of phase 1. So based on this example, there are 3 key factors to determine when a development will progress from phase 1 to phase 3 and if there is room for price increment or potential price reduction. In this example, I will use a current launch, the Botany at Dairy Farm, to illustrate further. Before I share with you more, I would like to ask that you like and subscribe to my channel so that my content will be able to reach to more people like yourself. Firstly, check the volume of units that are being sold weekly. So from January to February 2024, the Botany at Dairy Farm sold an average of 2 units per week, which is considerably much lower than the neighbouring launches. To increase the volume of transactions, the developer of the Botany start to roll out star buys and discounts, and the average number of units sold increased to 12 per week. Subsequently, the developers actually achieved a total of 85% of units sold to date at this point of filming, which is where I will go into the second key point. Monitor the percentage of units that has been sold in the project. Referencing back to the Botany, because they have already sold 85% of their units, chances are the developers will unlikely reduce the price of the remaining 15% of the units because they are confident to sell their remaining units. Which is why on 15th of April 2024, the Botany at Dairy Farm removed their discounts and also increased their price for their remaining units. Imagine you were a seller today and you receive plenty of viewings and multiple offers. Chances are you will not want to reduce your price as well. So this goes the same for developers today. On top of that, because the majority of the units that have already been sold, the financing of the developers would have been secured, and thus the remaining units are unlikely to see a price reduction. However, does this mean that there are no more value buys in the Botany anymore? Which goes to my third point. Be aware of the break-even price and the developer's profit margin. While it's true that many units have seen an increase in price, there are still a handful number of units that are still priced very close to day 1 pricing. So how do we determine this is by being aware of developers' profit margin by calculating the break-even price of the plot of land that the developers have bought into. The land price of Botany at Dairy Farm works out to be 1717 PSF per plot ratio. The rule of thumb for calculating if your entry price is safe is by adding 15 to 20% of the break-even price. So based on a 15% profit margin, it will work out to be around 1,009 per square foot. And based on today's available units, there are still available units at the Botany with this price range. So in my next video, I will touch on the importance of buying close to break-even price, and with this, we can determine if the price that you are buying in today is a safe one. So if you're unsure if the project that you are interested in today is in which phase, please feel free to reach out to me via my contact methods below. Once again, my name is Melissa and I'll see you in the next one.